Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi everyone, CeeChronicles here, back again with another fragrance video. If you're joining this channel for the very first time, guys, I post fragrance related content on this platform and would very much appreciate it if you did consider joining this family by subscribing. Now, to those who are returning, thank you so much, guys, for the continued support. Please check out my second channel, CeeChronicles Unscripted. I'm going to put the interface of that channel on the screen for ease of reference, as well as put the link in the description so that it makes it easy for you to go there. There, I feature my life outside fragrance reviews. So if you love that style of content, then please do make sure to check out CeeChronicles Unscripted and kindly subscribe there. Now, welcome to an Asdaaf 2023 releases in retrospect. So I have a few Asdaafs that I added to my collection in the year 2023, and I'm going to give you a recap of my thoughts on those fragrances. I'm not going to have all the Asdaafs that they made in 2023. I'm just going to focus on the ones that I have here or the ones that I have used and decluttered. Now, the very first one we're going to talk about, guys, is going to be this one, Asdaaf Underlib Flora, and the bottle for that fragrance is this one. And here are my thoughts when it comes to this particular one. What to expect from this fragrance, guys, is florals, okay, but there's a catch here. The florals are there but not doing the most. You know, when I saw this Flora tag, I'm just one of those people that have a love and hate thing with florals, especially if it's just flowers. Now, what I can tell you about this one, guys, is yes, it has a floral undertone to it there, but it has like a succulent juiciness to it there. So that floral tone that you get in the opening is quickly then wrapped around a juicy feel in this fragrance. The juiciness of the fruits in this fragrance, guys, is so prominent to an extent that for others it's actually gonna lean fruity than it does floral. I get a host of mixed fruits, something that feels like berries here, fruits that are realistically watery, even grapes. That is what to expect from this, and maybe some black currant, guys. And then there's an aromatic tone in this fragrance, adding like a spicy feel there, something that feels like lavender. It also has like an underlying milky tone to it, which could be coming from the tuberose there, and a bubblegum accord. Now, Asdaaf, to my nose so far, or at least the ones that I've added, seems to be a house of Lattafa that puts a twist to certain DNAs. They will present a fragrance, but they don't seem to be the outright copycats, like trying 101 to make sure that it smells exactly like the one that they're drawing inspiration from. Now, I'm just gonna take a wild guess. This is obviously gonna draw its inspiration from one of the Jean Paul Gaultier's scandals, maybe So Scandal. But don't rush for this, saying you have found yourself a dupe for So Scandal. Why I say so is it lacks that tutti fruity feel, but it has that bubblegum accord. It has that raspberry berry blast. So it does, to my nose, feel a lot like a twist to that fragrance than an outright clone. Also, great lasting power. I'm going to give this one, guys, a 9 out of 10. If you like aromatic lavender forward fragrances with a bubblegum accord there, something that is reminiscent of So Scandal, then you are probably gonna love this one. That is the first one, guys, Underlib Flora. I have to confess, it's not a 2023 release, but I had to put it amongst the Asdaafs that I added to my collection in 2023, targeted for the masculine or the male audiences. This fragrance, guys, draws its inspiration from YSL La Nuit de l'Homme. It has an aromatic lavender again, but this time working with a cardamom. So the scent in itself there is fresh, it's sweet, it's spicy, and it's citrusy as well. And then it is sitting on a bed of woods to give it longevity. So this is a fragrance that does have a decent lasting power there. I'm going to cap it at about 7 hours roundabout there, but very enjoyable, very sunny, bright fragrance that's appropriate for summer days. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10, guys. guys, for what it is versus the price that you pay for it and what it is drawing its inspiration from. So this, guys, is Asdaaf's Maison Alhambra. 10 out of 10 for me because it is a well-refined fragrance. The next one that I added to my collection, guys, is going to be Guide. Now, Guide is going to be the awkward one of the lot that I have to show you here. Maybe save for Atlantis Coral, right? This one is awkward in the sense that it is very different there, okay? It is not your typical department store type of fragrance. Guide draws its inspiration from Mancera's red tobacco. If you love your cinnamon, especially something that Lattafa uses a lot, you're gonna get a very, very obvious cinnamon in this fragrance. Not working alone though. There is a host of other spices there, but it is the cinnamon there that's going to be doing the most. There's also a dash of oud and woods, right? I say a dash. For some it might be a lot, but for me it's not a fragrance that has an oud that then makes it a one that I would cap as, oh, if you don't like oud, don't buy this. It's very oudy. It has the oud working with the woods there to an extent that oud can be mistaken as just the, the normal woods there. So what is doing the most in this fragrance is that tobacco note, right? Tobacco and woods. And it works together with an incense. So do expect a little bit of a smokiness in this fragrance. This is why I said this is going to be the most outstanding from the lot. Unique, interesting, unusual. And for that, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, guys. Last till the next wash. This one, unisex to my nose, would draw 70% masculine. So if you're a woman, maybe you want to test this. But I just love the twist in this, especially that realistic tobacco note, guys. It's called Gayad, and it's the third one on the lineup. Fourth on the lineup is gonna be Dalia. Okay, this is a fragrance that unfortunately didn't take the internet world by storm, or shall I say YouTube. This is a fragrance that hasn't been spoken a lot about, so it didn't draw interest for some reason. I do not know why, whether maybe Asdaaf didn't really market it aggressively out there. I do not know. However, you're not missing much anyway. Let me say this, because it is just one of those fragrances with a feminine DNA that is quite common there. It's a fragrance, again, whose identity is not straightforward. It is a fragrance that's crowd pleasing to an extent of, if you don't own it, you're not missing much. It's a fruity floral to my nose, but the fruits come across as watered there, so it's not going to be a sticky sweet kind of presentation. The DNA is going to be borrowing from a lot of other fragrances. For instance, Very Good Girl by Herein. It's going to at some point give you wafts of what feels like a Delina. So it is one fragrance that just leaves me conflicted really in terms of what I can say about it, but I do have a full review of it. It's just a fragrance that's all over the place. You really don't know what to make of it. For that reason, I gave it a 5 out of 10. Lasting power for this fragrance, guys, is about 5 hours pushing it. But it's just a typical fruity floral that is feminine leaning. It is called Dalia, and it's sitting on our number 4. Privé Rose is the 5th one on the lineup, and this one is indeed a 2023 release. In typical Asdaaf style, this fragrance seems to borrow from the Delina DNA, but doesn't want to be stereotyped as Delina, right? So I actually like that about the Asdaafs, the fact that they seem to take a DNA and then punch it up here and there just to give it a twist, guys. This is a long-lasting, juicy, fruity floral built around what feels like a lychee, a rhubarb, and some rose. And it's going to remind you a lot of that PDM DNA, guys, a lot, either of the Delina or of the Delina exclusive or the Cassili. But it just is one fragrance that you cannot outright say, okay, this is Delina. If you love Delina, just go and buy this one. A very long-lasting fragrance this is for the price. And I have used the heck out of mine because I absolutely love this fragrance. It's just easy reach for me. It's not as polarizing as Delina in as much as it has that underlying Delina DNA to it. It's not as in your face as Screechy or something like that. It just is like a perfect mix of those fruits and florals, but being careful enough not to be heady, but at the same time lasting till the next wash. I gave this one, guys, a 10 out of 10 straight up because to my nose, it's perfection. It's called Privé Rose, and it's sitting on our number 5. Asdaaf Emirate Al Arab Princess of Arabia is one that I also had to feature here, guys. This is also not a 2023 composition, but might as well just drop it here since we're talking about the Asdaafs, right? This fragrance is a fruity floral as well. Citrus is there, working in sync with those florals. Now, it will give you fresh, it will give you fruity, it'll give you spicy, it will give you sweet, but at the same time, a delicate musky undertone you're gonna get from this fragrance. This is one that definitely put Asdaaf on the map. If you didn't know Asdaaf, or if you were wondering what Asdaaf is all about, if you went on the internet, this is probably one that's going to pull up when you put the Asdaafs there, because it is popular for a reason. People just loved this one. I don't know whether it was maybe the expectation that this would be of a Kilian. I do not know based on the packaging, but no, it has nothing to do with the Kilians. It is just a gorgeous, crowd-pleasing, lovable, summer feminine fragrance. I gave this one, guys, a 10 out of 10 because the hype is there for a reason. So there's nothing to fold with this one, and it also lasts. So this is Princess of Arabia, guys, sitting on our number 6. 7th on the lineup, guys, is going to be Atlantis Coral. I had somebody come in my comment section saying, oh, I didn't like this fragrance. I don't like it at all. I don't. And guys, when I did a review of this fragrance, I did say out of the two, right, this one is the one that you may need to test, right? So when I got that comment, I was like, okay, I'm just going to heart the comment and move on, because at the end of the day, the other thing is, we smell fragrances differently, right? So do not expect that what I come and say here is set in stone. What I might say is the most amazing fragrance I've ever smelled might end up not even being a fragrance that you would consider even buying or wanting to smell like. Atlantis Coral, guys, is a fragrance that draws its inspiration from Portia by Tiziana Terenzi. This is a fragrance that's incensey, it's soapy, it's vinty, it has musk, and that incensey tone and the soapy tone mixing together is one that's going to remind you of that vintage, old style, fashioned fragrance tone. Now, amidst that, do expect a peach working together with a ylang ylang. This is complex in as much as it does end up being a musk. To me, it still gets its 10 out of 10, because out of my entire collection, I do not have a fragrance that smells like Atlantis Coral. I love the fact that it's so different. This is a fragrance, guys, that is even backup bottle worthy to me. I love the uniqueness of it, and maybe because I personally just love vintage toned fragrances, that's why I love it. And it's called Atlantis Coral. Number 8, guys, is going to be Atlantis. Atlantis is obviously from the same line there. You can see the bottle. This one is the one that's more relatable. If you're looking to just blind buy a fragrance that's probably not going to disappoint you, that's going to be familiar in terms of notes or in terms of how it interprets to the nose, then this is one that you may want to go for, guys. This is a sweet, fresh, musky fragrance there, inspired by Cubia from Tiziana Terenzi. There's a sherbety undertone in this fragrance together with that powderiness that is enjoyable, and that's going to be something that a lot of people like. And it is that fun fragrance, guys, with a youthful tone to it. So this is more on the crowd pleasing part. I decided to give this one an 8 out of 10, guys, not because to me it's awful, but because of the performance. It may be a fragrance that you need to reapply, especially if you are a light sprayer. If you are a light sprayer, this is a fragrance that you might say, oh, it just gave me 4 hours and that was it. It needs you to douse on it for you to actually enjoy it the most. But it is built around fruits and florals, and of course that powdery musk in the dry down there. It is called Atlantis, our number 8. The next 4 fragrances are just going to be honorable mentions, guys, because I decluttered them. Why? Because One was redundant, and then the other one I did not declutter. Actually, I used it, which was the Underlip. I finished that one, but I didn't feel the need to purchase it. That one I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Underlip, as in the sister to this one, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. I used my bottle and finished my bottle. There was nothing wrong with that fragrance. Draws its inspiration from Scandal, but of course does take a few twists and turns there. Very sweet, honeyed fragrance, but I'm not replacing it because it's not that unique. It is a DNA that kind of yo-yos between a lot of very familiar DNAs out there. Some people are going to say they smell a little bit of Sondos in it. Some people are going to say they smell a little bit of La Vie Belle in it. So it is that style of DNA, and quite frankly, I didn't feel the need to repurchase it. However, yes, it is a fragrance I'm gonna rate highly because it's a nice and enjoyable fragrance overall with a decent lasting power. Another fragrance that I had from Asdaaf, which unfortunately I had to let go because it was redundant, was Maison Alhambra. Now that one reminds me a lot of Amir Al Oud Intense from Lattafa, which is a fragrance that draws its inspiration from By the Fireplace from Maison Alhambra. Now, I decluttered that one, guys. Not that there was anything wrong with that fragrance. It's just a peppery take to that By the Fireplace. That outright spicy peppery note is what makes it a little bit different from By the Fireplace, although the DNA is unmistakable. That Maison Alhambra, I'll give it 10 out of 10. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just redundant in my collection, so I decided to declutter it. Next one that I had and I decluttered is Kasuf Black Extract. That one hasn't hit the market. I do not know why, but it's been around the block for maybe about 6 months. It's a new release from Asdaaf, a 2023 release. I did feature it here, but I didn't give it a chance, guys, because to me, it just felt like Assad rebottled, which is your Dior Sauvage. So that one I had to declutter, and because it's quite misleading, I give it a 5 out of 10, guys. And as much as the lasting power is great, it is just one of those fragrances that when you spray, you're like, well, what's up with that? Okay, so that's the reason why I didn't keep the last one I also had and decluttered was again from the Kasuf line, White Extract. That to me is simply Yara rebottled. So when I sprayed it for the first time, I was like, no, you ain't gonna play us like that. Okay, so I don't need this. I'm also giving it a 5 out of 10 because it was just one fragrance that they chose to put in another. Okay, I don't know why they did that, because they've already set a pace that we appreciate here, and if they could maintain it like this, it would be something that would be very nice, to have the Asdaafs giving us a little twist there, their own rendition to popular DNAs, rather than then maybe at some point just getting lazy and repackaging what is already in the Lattafa shelves and putting it in other bottles like that Kasuf Black Extract, which is to me like Assad, as well as that Kasuf White Extract, which is to me exactly Yara in another bottle. So yes, guys, that was it. That was the Asdaaf fragrance releases of 2023 in retrospect. There's a lot, of course, that I could have spoken about, but I prefer talking about the ones that I have used. I personally love Asdaaf, and I wish they could continue to give us more fragrances, guys, especially from this line. I love the quality of their fragrances. The prices will make you underestimate this, guys, but they don't go cheap when it comes to the quality. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section, guys, where we obviously discuss more about fragrances. Do remember to check out my other channel, CeeChronicles Unscripted. Kindly subscribe to that channel, guys. Let us make that channel grow. I'd very much love to hit that 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours. So please kindly subscribe to that channel as well. While you're at it, turn on post notifications on both channels. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this one, guys. And remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.